What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Don Killuminati, back with another live video. So in this video, I'm going to try to do exactly what I just did on my Facebook, which was incredibly good lesson that I did, and I used my the book from the book that I'm putting together. I'm putting a whole bunch of books together, which is going to be a compilation of books that I'm going to do. And when I put them together, it's going to be called the Book of Don Killuminati. So I'm going to get started on that so I don't waste no time here. Because idle time is the devil's playground, and we know that y'all niggas only got a 3-second mind span or some shit like that. All right? So I'm going to go back to the beginning. We're going to go back to the beginning because I want people to pick up where I left off. But then for the new people, I want you to kind of hear everything. And this is a little lengthy, so I'm just getting ready to just get straight into it. But mind you, you better remember, this is a part of the introduction of the Don Killuminati. This is written by me through studies, research, just that I did in the last couple of days, right? And putting my mind in a certain place, giving you this literature. Literature is what it is, right? In my perspective, in the way that I see people, the world, how I see power that's being developed, how I can see energy, how I can see currency, how I can see mentality, a lot of things, and how they coexist with each other, and what they do. So let's get started. So it's starting off, you know, people who question your standards, right? The things that you believe in, the things you love, the things you, the goals that you put in place, right? When people question those standards, those are not people who love you. Those are people who are trying to control you or limit you. You feel me? They're trying to limit you from your purposes in life. So think about how the quality of counsel, the quality of people around you is going to be much better than the quantity of company that you're going to keep. Because the more company you keep, the more odds you got up against you. It's going to play these factors. So men who operate in patience, right, and in silence will gain a superpower. Patience and in silence. You will gain a superpower with that. Why? Because most people think that most urgent needs are important, but they're not. They're just more things that cause you to worry and live rent-free in your head. That draws away from your currency. So you want to build in the absence of confirmation. Why is that? Because a lot of people, they believe in self-gratification. This world then fed us gratification, instant gratification, that if we're building something, we have to see it being built every step of the way. But that's not necessarily true. If I'm getting my kitchen remodeled, I don't need to go in there and check every single time to be confirmed that the picture that they showed me that I said I'm going to pay for, that they're going to do it. Didn't they did other companies? Okay, so why do I got to constantly check up on the confirmation? The building is in process. Go worry about something else. But you still keep worrying about something that's building, nigga. You wasting your energy on building the shit. You wasting more energy on building it than you have to begin with. If you take some of that energy, you can build better and bigger. So building in the absence of confirmation not only allows you to have that patience, but it'll also allow the growth of not having a need for validation. You understand that? That's going to be powerful too. Because why? When you building and you constantly checking for validation, now you checking for validation. You're not even looking to see, you see what I'm saying? I would prefer you even be looking for the growth of the project you're working on than to checking out, see who else is watching your shit. You building it for you, right? Right? When it get done, you supposed to check it out and say if it look nice and it's good and it meets your standards and criteria that you set out for, right? You're not asking them. You ain't got no A&Rs to, you know what I'm saying, put they 2 cents in on your projects. You feel me? So that's how that works. You're not having a need for validation. So when you building in the absence of confirmation, you're not seeing the confirmation. You don't care about the confirmation. You don't need people to confirm to you that they're even watching it be built. You know what you're building. You don't need confirmation nor validation, right? You need to build in silence. So the need of validation destroys you internally by causing one to quit or give up too early. This is why you want to plant your seeds like a person that's not even going to be around there when the harvest begins. So the universe is always going to reward to those who don't quit, who refuse to quit, who refuse to give up. Because the most indestructible force on this earth is how you choose to develop your mind, by discovering all your weaknesses first and allowing things to steal your attention, right? So the most indestructible force on this earth is how you choose to develop your mind, discovering your weaknesses and the things that allow to steal your attention. So what you give your attention to, who or what, is you're allowing them to cooperate, or it, with your energy, right? So whatever you're giving your attention to, you're allowing those things to cooperate with your energy, which you're sharing your energy with it now. Are they beneficial or are they non-beneficial? Most things, like I said, is non-beneficial to give your energy to. So you're going to start having to see them now. See the things that you don't need to respond to anymore. See the things you don't need to think about anymore. Oh, you got this bill. Can you pay it or can't you? No, you can't. Toss that shit immediately. Don't even think about it. Seriously, just like that. And let those things take care of themselves, because you're taking care of yourself right now. Your energy, you're protecting it by all costs. So your energy is your strongest resource. So be careful of who or what you give your resources to, as I just said. And being reactive consistently, that means constantly reacting. The world teaches you that you have to, every time somebody takes shots, you got to clap back all the time. Clapping back doesn't show strength. Somewhere down the line, where no one can see, not even yourself, you're giving up your currency, you're giving up your power. Versus trying to show how powerful you are, you're actually becoming more weak. Because being reactive consistently causes you to contribute your source of energy to many things that are unnecessary. So now you're wasting time. You don't even have the ability to stir your own thoughts at this correct time. See, everything got your mind. Everything got your mind, because what you allow to gain your attention, or you give your attention to, right? So it's going to try, but you got to be able to see it from the outside in, so you'll be able to stop those things, right? So they say the battle is in the mind, right? Because we could talk about spiritual battle all day long, but we also remember that the enemy, the devil, attacks your mind. So that's where the battle is really going to be at. That's why we got this. Once you can get your mind together, then you can spiritually battle some ish. But your mind ain't straight, how you going? You don't even know what you're doing. You don't even know what to look for. You ain't got discernment. You don't know how to process shit. You don't know nothing. You don't even know how to battle. You're going to need to use your mind to battle the spiritual battle. Because the spiritual battle taking place in the mind, dog. All right. So check this out. Your source of energy also calculates to wisdom, prosperity, and universal freedom. The key is the wealth really is in the mind. Wealth is in the mind. A healthy mind is a wealthy mind. So the truth is, freedom doesn't come from an outside source, because like I said before, even if you was jailed, you can still have the willpower to either hurt or heal others, just as yourself. Wealth, prosperity, wisdom, and freedom all starts in the reconstruction of the mind. That's why the Bible speaks on, be ye transformed of the renewing of the mind. So to whom that governs their own mentality, in which it takes reconstruction of their own process of thinking, will reverse the curse in place. Why? What is the curse in place? The government governs mentality. The curse in place is they have constructed your mind. If you reconstruct your mind to your own process of thinking, it will reverse the curse. That's why I said in the last one, this is the reason that when governments fail, the people lose their abilities to think, because it was the government governing their mentality. We're getting ready to get to the new part. So when you're moving out loud, the enemy calculates your moves in silence. The enemy's position is to steer you or distract you from your source of energy, in which that is the fuel to serve your purpose. What is? Your source of energy. Your source of energy is the fuel to serve your purpose in this life. So the importance to moving and building in silence is a very important thing to do if you want to be successful at getting these things done and reconstruction in this mind. This is what you're building in silence. your mind. Okay? So people don't got to know that you're doing it. So what should you do if you're underestimated by an enemy or your opponent? You notice there's going to be underestimation going on here. If you even speak on these things, don't even tell people what you're doing. That's the quickest way they're going to underestimate you, first of all. So you can limit all that shit out by keeping things less. Don't ever let nobody know your moves, your next moves, or your next words, or what you're going to do. Why? It gives them the room for underestimation. And then when you think about a person that underestimates you, you're drawing again. You're allowing them to live rent-free in your head. Your currency, you're giving it away just because they underestimated you. That ain't nothing but a perspective of others that is outside the source of what's being built, right? Okay. So what do you do when the enemy underestimates you, right? Or your opponent? The answer is you should simply do nothing. Nothing. Leave them with a cold, dead response. And see, they know that silence is powerful, and they don't care if you shut them up. They're wondering if it can live rent-free in your head. If you never display that you kept those words within you, then they know it don't work. They gotta see you as anything they threw at you got filtered out. It's stuck in a filter somewhere, and the trash man comes and takes out that filter and just throws that shit in the trash. It's never gonna stick. It's never gonna stick. But if you allow them to know that it's sticked by explaining yourself or reverting back on or using as example from, they know that they living rent-free in your head, or their underestimation tactics, or their bullshit, or their disrespect living rent-free in your head. That's what you can't allow. So this is a part of how you're going to have to be stoic at the same time, right? All right. So don't allow the enemy to activate that thought of failure from the perspective of others, because he's activating thoughts. He don't care if you shut him down right now. He wants to know if he activated any thought, something that you could take with you, even if you was to knock him off. If he know that he was able to infiltrate your mind because you don't have a mind that reconstructs itself to protect your source of energy, which is your energy, your positivity, your goal, your lifestyle, your life force, all that is going to start here, bro. Right? So silence will hold the power until your progress is complete. See, if they underestimate you, it doesn't matter, because that silence, like I said, is going to be powerful all alone in itself. But what is the silence going to do as well? The silence is also going to hold power till the progress is complete. Your progress is going to do something as well. What is that going to do? Well, your progress is going to hold the confirmation once it exposes itself. The progress. Confirmation is going to be confirmed that it exposed the progress that you just put in there. And what will that expose? That will expose the confidence you always had within you. It's doing a lot here. All right. So when your silence builds pressure, it confuses the enemy. This is why it's very important to stay silent as much as possible, because it's building that pressure. Also, you're building currency. Remember, only then will your words become valuable to your purpose. Why? Because you allowed the silence to build pressure, and it became a currency. And now it's more valuable when you speak. So for every word that you hold back builds currency and is stored for you to properly use at an appointed time. There's more important times to use and utilize your energy. Now, I would say 9 times out of 10, people, places, things, circumstances, it ain't worth your energy. This is why so many people feel broken down, powerless, and in poverty. Because poverty is also a mindset. But we'll get there. All right. So what do? The more you store your responses, the more wealthier you will become. And this is a fact. So start being quiet. Stop allowing everybody to know what affects you and all that. Just do that. You're going to come, because the universe is going to provide for those, like I said, who don't give up or quit too early, right? We're going to get something else in that about how it's going to work, right? So if you were to take the energy that the world threw at you every day and you stored it as a savings bond, you'd be rich by tomorrow. Tomorrow could be tomorrow, 24 hours. Tomorrow could be 48 hours. But you be rich by tomorrow. You be rich. You'll be further than you would have been with the government governing your mentality. They're keeping you in poverty. They're keeping you powerless. They are. So what can you do about it? Nigga, it's your mind. Reconstruct your own shit. That's what they're afraid of the most. That's what they're afraid of. And I'm going to help y'all do it. Because that's the great spiritual battle they know they can't beat. Oh shit, these niggas got their heads back. See, when y'all stop confusing people, making them think that it's just an internal spiritual battle, nigga, this is a mental battle. Let's get there. Because the battle takes place in the mind. If the devil is attacking you in the mind, the devil is Satan. The devil is a spiritual entity against you. And the first thing he decides to attack is what? Your mind. So where's the battle at? If it's a spiritual battle, where is it happening at? That part. So now I got the keys to untwist that shit. See, when y'all think you're going to go here, I'm going to go there. You understand? I'm going to break all you niggas down till you understand some shit, right? Because that's what you here for. That's what I'm here for. I ain't here to be bullshitting with people. I'm a fucking piece of the purpose in y'all niggas' lives, but you don't want to see it that way. So we just going to keep going over your heads. And we ready for y'all niggas to die anyway. This is why you're going to perish for the lack of knowledge. But not just that, you're going to be perishing because you chose not to reconstruct or renew your mind. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You didn't want to, so you perish for the lack of knowledge. Simple as that. So now you can see how fundamental and prosperous you can become if you simply don't allow others or even circumstances to withdraw from your account. See what I'm saying? Speaking of account, you must take full accountability of who or what has access to your mental space. For the devil is like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. This is the reason that the enemy attacks your mind first. As I said, you see where he attacks? The mind. So if you ain't got no control of your mind, then what fucking spiritual battle? You think you're going to win a spiritual battle, you ain't even got control of your own mind. Bro, let's start there first. That's where he's starting? All right, bet. Well, we kicking in the back door for you, okay? Because you wasn't going to do it. That's why I said that's the reason why he attacks your mind first. Why? Because he knows that if he can break down your mind first, he also knows you won't have the ability to utilize your willpower in compressed situations. Like these days that's coming up, you're going to lose your damn mind. Government going to fall, so is y'all. You don't even know you see what I'm saying? You don't even know how to think on your own. You allow them, you rely on them. This is why most people rely on the government, because they don't know how to think for themselves. They just don't. And it's because of these things. They didn't trade you to clap back at everything. They didn't trade you that you gotta defend yourself every time and all. No, that ain't the way you're supposed to do it. If you allow these things, you will progress in being and allowing something more potent on the inside of you to grow out of you, and it will become more resistant to those things normally and naturally. And then when you'll just walk this earth and you will let so much not affect you. And you ain't got to deal with so much stress and depression and anxiety. And where do you think all those things come from? Dude, all that shit start in the mind too. But it's why? Because you're giving up your power. Of course you fucking dream, nigga. You responded to everything. You done tell everybody your personal problems. You know what I'm saying? You done cried every time, nigga. You done answer everybody's phone call. You done entertained everything. You gave everything your attention. Oh, I'm so depressed. Of course you is, nigga. Your bank account's empty. See what I'm saying? This is why it's important to never let people, vices, or conversations live rent-free in your head. If it feels draining, it is. So never let anything rob you of your own ability to think on your own. As I said before, people who question your standards, they're not looking for answers. They're looking for control. Period. They want to control your purpose. You start trying to set standards, but you can't set those standards so your mind ain't straight yet. But that's why I'm going to help you get that as well. I'm going to show you when you're setting those standards. When you set out the plan, all the things around it that you need to do. 10 things I got for you. We're going to get into that. Right? So many people, they suffer at genuinely being appreciated. Why? because they're too nice. Could you believe that? Yeah. A person who fails to say no or reject incompatibility of thoughts from others, right? Let's read it again. A person who fails to say no or reject incompatible thoughts of others. If it's incompatible, it's incompatible. Call them out and shit, right? You don't. This is why. You think you're nice, but this is who you are. So you will no longer be appreciated as nice, but rather expected. That's what they want of you. First of all, why? You wanted to be nice, but you turned out to be an ass. For an example, you have now become the expectations of a donkey. Here, let me put my luggage on you. That's what a lot of simps is doing. See, these women out here, they expect you as a man. See, you're expected. So now you got the expectations of a donkey. They can bring the 3, 4, 5 kids. Here, nigga. Hee-haw. You fucking simp. Sorry. This shit don't work. That's why you niggas don't get no respect. All right? I ain't no donkey, little niggas. You feel me? So I'm going to train you not to be a donkey for men or women, dog. Ain't nobody out here to be playing no fucking games with nobody. Do you understand that shit? Real people don't play games with nobody. They're going to come from both sides with this shit. Ain't got nothing against you. You better not have nothing against me. If you got anything against anything, if it's the words that I'm speaking, nigga, you got something against your own mentality. All right? Because this is constructed. You see what I'm saying? And I'm holding up a mirror to you to show you what you are not. Dude, how much of us is this? Right? Wouldn't matter. It came from me. It came out of this head, my nigga. And you would say, yeah, but you're what? I'm smarter than you. Let's start there. I know how to battle the devil off in my own mind. You're going to be your own damn devil every day. See, all he can do is set it up for you. You come through and he gives the alley-oop. You slam dunk on yourself by allowing those things to affect you, allowing those things to infiltrate your mental space when you don't have time for that. It's time to build, right? All right, so start building and build in silence. Nobody need to know what you're doing. Hey, listen, I'm unorthodox, so I didn't have to tell you I was going to pop up with this literature and shit. It just happens. Why? Because that's how God operates me. So I can do what I do because you never know what's going to come next. All right? Plenty more gifts. So listen up. So we're going to run it back. So you wanted to be nice, but you turned out to be an ass. For example, now you have become the expectations of a donkey. It seems extremely ignorant, but that lifestyle you create when you ignore the signals that people really don't need or want for you, when you can be expected. Yeah. See, a fool doesn't reserve wisdom. He reserves chaos. So you must learn to be stoic in chaotic situations because it's waiting for that long drawn out response, which is silence. That's what you're going to need to do. Why? Because in this kind of situation, you are calculated and prepared to close the accounts of your source of energy to make no withdrawals possible. You get it? Let me tell you again. Let me say it again. In this kind of situation, what situation? Well, if you are silent when in a chaotic situation, you're silent in a chaotic situation, you will be calculated and prepared, and you have closed accounts of your source of energy for nothing to make any withdrawals possible because you gave it none of your energy, okay? So that's why you got to remain calm and quiet in a chaotic situation. When one doesn't understand the value of their responses, they will almost never end up with wealth. Why? Because they lack the discipline on even understanding how they even received it in the first place. You don't got a mind for building. You don't have a mind for progress. You don't got a mind for patience. Nigga, you ain't got a mind. You ain't got a mentality. You need a mentality to be rich. Rich understand rich. Rich talk, bro. You feel me? This is why they can talk to certain people when they hear how nonsensical you sound. They don't even want to be around that energy. Because that energy being around is draining from them anyway. They don't want to shake your hand. They don't want to have a conversation. I know why. I know why, dog. You're stealing from them. Like the girl said about Rihanna. Rihanna, listen, I ain't going to go there because that ain't the message. But we understand what witches and warlocks do in the industry. You don't think that they're see, they're feeding the minds of people, so they're distracting. They're distracting energy. They're extracting energy. They're extracting currency from our people. They are stealing. All right? This is proof that they're stealing. Because y'all niggas paying attention to them. Well, you allow these motherfuckers to rob you. Well, they didn't know they were being robbed. Oh, well, we told you that was secular music. Oh, well, we didn't know. Well, that's on you. You perish again for the lack of knowledge. You should have been listening up here. Should have been listening to the prophets. So anyway, we'll get on to what the hell we got to do, right? All right, bet. So this is why governing your own mind will be important for your transformation. Because transformation begins when one first understands all of their weaknesses. And how isolation becomes observation of self. So you're going to have to discover your weaknesses and understand how isolation is observation of self. Because your mind is a tool utilized for a purpose. So exercise the ability of observation without any distractions. I'm going to say this again, slowly. Exercise the ability of observation with no distractions. So keep all the distractions away from you. That's what I'm saying. If you isolate yourself, dude, you isolated yourself, but now you're on the phone scrolling. Now you just can't stay still. You got to have something else on. Somebody else got to be talking. No distractions. You understand? You're trying to understand you, not what the fuck's coming on next on TV or the next thing you can laugh at and scroll. You're giving it no time. So you're now making isolation valueless. Don't do it if you're going to allow yourself to be distracted by yourself. That's just non-discipline. That's why I'm going to give you these rules to do these things. All right? We get into it. So exercise the ability of observation without any distractions, which will give you the time to fully invest of observation of self. It don't take that long. You ain't got nobody say you got to do it for months or weeks even. You just need to do it every once in a while. I don't care if you can get only an hour or two out of the day doing these things. You need to give it more time to observe yourself. Why? Because you need to see where your weaknesses are, see what you made the mistakes from, all the things that you can fix. The way you think, who you allow, did you respond too fast? Did you respond too aggressively? Did you give off anything that will allow the enemy to know that this is how they can defeat you or affect you or whatever? You need to sit and check this shit out, man. All right? You need time to do that. So think about this. Being strong isn't measured on the amount of company or the people that you keep, but moreover, not needing to be in the presence of anyone. That's the power. Why? Because sovereignty is more powerful than you believe. This also goes into building in silence. Why? Because you don't need that company around to even build anything. Some people are built off validation, which feeds their success. If you was to snatch that validation, how successful would they feel? If you didn't build that part, they allow others to. You understand? So the power is really built within. And like I said, it's not about the amount of the company, the people who agree with you and other. See, it's moreover about not needing people to agree with you or this, that, and the third. That's where you gain self-power because you got self-control and you didn't allow people to puppetize you. Puppets. You see? And then when you trying to cut strings from them, you see the niggas throw the darts trying to throw their fucking strings back on you. And you got to look at it like, yeah, you got to look at what you did. What kind of audience did you build around you? The audience that's around you is a replication of you. This is why I can scream and not lose that many subscribers, dog. You feel me? Because I got up here authentically. I didn't do the favors for these little niggas when they wanted me to stop talking about this or do that. No, fuck that. You here to watch me. All right? All right, bet. We're going to get back to the shit. See? That unpredictable shit. I swear, dog. Don't fuck around, man. That shit's dangerous for you, dog. Swear to God. You swing your life, dog. Sorry, Lord, but I got to let them know it's real like that, okay? So don't play with me, bro. So, building in silence. Building and silence or building in silence. Two things. One within itself. These two things are extremely important for your growth, right? And it's necessary for your growth to come. What? Building and silence. See, if you just silent, but you ain't building nothing, then how you gonna grow anything? Or if you just building, but you ain't quiet about it, niggas is gonna destroy that shit before you get finished. Trust me. That's what everybody around you's trying to do. Okay? All right. So it also requires positioning and exercising the reconstruction of your mentality. Mentality is simply the way you process thought, whether secure or severe circumstances. The things that you decide to allow to affect your judgment, so forth and so on. Right? Okay. So it's your mentality. See, the Lord, he gives discernment to those who have already prejudged themselves, in which you cannot maintain this type of structure if you're not built from it. So if you never judge yourselves, then you ain't getting discernment from the Lord, which means you don't even know how to point fingers at somebody the right way. You have not judged yourself. You did not take time and observe yourself. The Lord watches that. Then he gives you discernment to judge others. But he want to know, how well can you judge yourself? How well? And where are you going to start? In the mind, bro. Okay. So when you think you're knowing something, come on, man, you're going to realize it's time to learn more. So be able to judge those who exploit your kindness as weakness. See, you won't even be able to judge those who are exploiting your kindness as weakness because the Lord didn't give you discernment because you refuse to judge your damn self. So now you got people exploiting your kindness for weakness and you don't even see it. Why should you see? Why should you know these things? Why? Because it's easier for it to appear that way in the world that we live in. So you got to understand and know when your kindness is being taken as weakness. You need to know that every time. Who's taking it as weakness? How they're going to utilize it against. See, these things are important. I'm telling you, man. And this is giving them access in certain loopholes to get into your mind and break you down slowly but surely. See what I'm saying? All right. And that, okay, I get it. None of this might be in the Bible, but is this helping you prepare your mind? Okay. Does that need to be in the Bible? Does anything we talk about need to be in the Bible? What's in the Bible need to be in the Bible. Okay. But there's still things you need to do outside that Bible and learn outside that Bible as well. No, it ain't. Oh, okay. Well, you forgot what world you live in. The key is, this is what you must remember. Your kindness is only as weak as you appear. Never appear to be expected. That part. Stop appearing to be expected. Stop appearing to be nice. Stop appearing to be reliable. Those are the things you don't want to appear to be. All right? That the world going to tell you something different. I'm going to tell you how to get rich. I'm going to tell you how to be powerful. All right? The universe doesn't reward being good or being fair. It rewards preparation and synchronization. Let me explain. If you were to align yourself and position yourself for a calculated time, you will have prepared yourself for the advantage when these three things take place. You're waiting for something to take place. And what is that? Time, positioning, and alignment. But if you ain't positioned, if you ain't aligned, it don't matter if the time, position, or alignment come, nigga. If you ain't got none of the line and none of the position, because you ain't positioning yourselves. See, that's part of the synchronization. That's why synchronization is what it is, because certain things positions itself to be in alignment with things on time. Do you understand that? That's synchronization, bro. So that's why I said preparation and synchronization is going to be what you're going to need. Why? Because you're going to need to prepare to be synchronized. You're going to synchronize minds, bro. All right, I'm doing too much. Let's roll it. So do not believe the illusion of those who have emotional dependence, right? Oh, do not believe the illusion of the emotional dependence of others. Do not believe it. Why? Because it's an illusion. Some people are going to come around and say, they're going to try to make you feel that they're emotionally dependent on you. So what? That ain't my fault. What you could be is a pillar of something that they need to understand. And they got to figure it out on their own. Allow the lessons you learn in life make you a teacher by you learning them lessons and applying them. Therefore, you ain't got to write and say nothing to nobody. They can sit back, see, and watch. And you teaching off the back, because I know that's what I'm doing right now. It's not just the words you listening to that's educating you. It's the fact that you seeing the amount of discipline that I got. It's a lot that you seeing right now. And it's teaching you something. If it ain't, then you're nobody. Because this is how you be somebody. If you're going against this, then you're clearly just a person who has been developed by the government. And you nearly don't want to reconstruct your own mind. And if it's over jealousy or because of where you get information from, hey, look, words can be in black and white. They can be in any color. And who they come from could be the same. Anyway, don't believe the illusion of the emotional response at the dependence of others, but understand the reality that most vultures in this society are attracted to those who give emotional responses. That's what they're attracted to. So if you always want to seem nice and soft and coming off soft to make them feel good when you know they're getting ready to throw a shot here or there, man, fuck them, dog. Come on. Your vulnerability will remain open to be betrayed, right? So a man who chooses to fight, or a woman, right, who chooses to fight mentally, right, resist these individuals that are coming to take away your purpose, limit your purpose and your standards and all that. You got to choose to fight these battles. Why? Because a man who chooses not to fight when necessary destroys his own peace. You know that? When you don't become standoffish, everybody looks at you and say, oh, I can just fuck with you. They gonna fuck with you all damn day long. You gonna be coming home pulling your hair out. Versus if you would have stood tall, 10 toes down, being resistant to everything and everyone, nobody want to fuck with you like that. Then you got less drama that you got to deal with, right? Hey, say what you want, but watch how this play out on this field. Why? Because I said a man who chooses not to fight when necessary, not lashing out at every cause, not responding to every cause. We already went over that, right? When necessary. And it's always necessary when somebody tries to infiltrate your mental space, right? So when the hand is played against you, this is something that you must honor. What? The fight. You must. The choice to be able to win or lose, whether you lose or not, is better than honoring a slow, sufferable death without peace or courage. So the more courage you have, peace will eventually follow. There is a reason that a lion is one of the most boldest animals in the jungle. They may give off the essence of being unbothered, but if you infiltrate their space, there's a natural instinct that comes along with the kind of species it was always built to be. So notice how the lion doesn't roam around the jungle roaring at every animal that he sees, because having a killer instinct doesn't always mean that you're evil, but moreover shows that you're more than capable of survival in a wild and vicious environment. For lions, it's life, but for humans, it's often circumstantial. The days will arise very soon. So you weak men that want to keep being weak and docile and this, that, and the third, and you know what I mean, only spiritual battle-ish, and the Lord didn't say we're going to do this and then the third. Look, man, I done brung y'all enough scriptures. I already know I need to teach y'all how to get your brain together. We'll get back to the scriptures if I can figure out you got a brain in your head. Because damn. Okay? So, depending on the amount of kindness you show will ultimately determine your position in the food chain, doggy. So, position yourself as valuability, not vulnerability. Position yourself as valuability, not vulnerability. Is an unfound diamond still a diamond? Just because your value hasn't been uncovered doesn't mean that you have to remain priceless for others. If pressure makes diamonds, then you now understand your value according to the compressed version of who you are today. See it, know it, believe it, and understand this, that without true healing, this is a mental healing too. You're going to have to do it mentally because it's going to heal you spiritually and everything, okay? So understand that without true healing, this can end up being a very painful and expensive journey. It's going to be painful when you watch how rich you could have been. It's only expensive because these things were meant to deposit into your account. and build you up a currency that you would literally have for times like these, for things that's going to escalate quickly. Because what's going to be value now is your motherfucking life. Fuck money. How do you perceive certain things? How do you give off? How is your mind going to process in chaotic situations and all that to keep you alive? Fuck the food, fuck the water, all that, nigga. You might die because you don't even think right, bro. You stupid. You're gonna operate the wrong way. Somebody gonna smash you. They don't care. You know, you got caught out there. You had all the guns propped up. You had all the food. You had all the water. You had all the friends. You had all that shit. You still got smoke. You know, watch your mouth. You're moving like a fool out here, Doug. You understand? That's why I'm trying to infiltrate with the mind. Then we can get to the scriptures. Because y'all just, man, I'm telling you, y'all walking to the wrong place, bro. Scriptures try to tell you. But guess what? You know what? That ain't working. It ain't working for y'all. It's not. Oh, it's working? Then tell me what you learned from it. That I taught you. Because I know what I got, bro. I know who I am. I know all that. All right? We ain't gonna talk about that. I'm trying to figure out what you know. Who are you? Because I'm just gonna have to write you niggas off as Satan, and we got a job to do at the end of the day. And I'm pretty well to do that job extremely great as well. All right? Check this out. Some people who have believed that they healed from the traumas of this life, but instead they submitted to normality. They believe that's healing. Submitting to normality. Why? You never took care of the situation to begin with, which psychologically convinces them that they are strong and independent, but the reality is they are just the average, obedient, mishandled slaves of society. You still got a government. Allow every word and every thought be progressive, and never waste energy or thought on things that do not further or serve your purpose. This is a for sure way that you give yourself no time, right, for others to damage you or reopen any scars or new wounds while you're healing. Discipline is going to be required for this mental rehabilitation, because that's what this is. Discipline is going to be required. So exercising the discipline will soon evolve into standards that become natural. That should only take 7 days. Exercise it for 7 days. See what becomes. Now I'm going to give you 10 things, 10 keys to do this and to lock it in and protect it. 10 things. Ready? Number 1, prepare yourself for complete transformation. Complete. Remember, the renewing of the mind is what you need. This is how you're doing it. No, that ain't in the Bible, but it's right here, dog. Learn your weaknesses. Number 2. That's number 2. Learn your weaknesses. Before you can get even started, you think you're strong. No, you're not. Okay, then where are your weak areas? Don't start with strong areas. Start with weak areas and start exercising them till every area is covered. Number 3, guard your mind. You know how to do that, right? The things that you allow to entertain you. Number 4, set out a plan. You're gonna need a plan. You definitely need a plan. This is what this is all about. You're gonna successfully complete this plan. Number 5, exercise your fears. The reason why you have to exercise these things, you say, well, that's not a part of my plan. Yes, it is. Because you may have fear or failure in that plan somewhere. Exercise your fears, period. Get used to exercising your fears. So when things come up in that plan that you set out for that don't look like it's going well, it doesn't scare you half to death and you jump off and you fall and you quit too early and all that other shit, and it didn't drain the rest of your currency out of you, right? You got to build inside and keep going, right? But in these things, you're going to have to exercise things too to make sure you can keep going, all right? So number 5, exercise your fears. Number 6, learn from your mistakes. So I said every day. When you crucify your flesh daily every day, check on the next day and say, you know what? Where did I go wrong at? What could I have done different? Put it down. Write it down. Nigga, make a book about yourself to fix some shit, bro. It ain't going to take long. Ain't going to take long to fix yourself. I promise you, dog. It ain't. Number 7, develop patience. This thing is going to be very necessary. It's going to give you patience just trying to work at all this just alone. Understanding these things will give you patience once you start practicing all the things that I said before. You know what's causing you to not have patience? The instant gratification, all the things that we done spoke about. People who create anxiety within you because of their underestimations and all that. Man, fuck all that. All that is creating impatience in you. You're going to have to get used to not moving with instant gratification, but moving in progress, understanding that every move you make is another step to what you are building. So you be patient with that. You don't receive the reward until it's finished. Notice, get on the grind and start these things, okay? So, number 8, acquire wisdom. Definitely. The Book of Don Killuminati is going to give you a lot of that. Do you understand me? Bro, it's a long way in already. Dude, this ain't nothing. Number 9, create isolation. Remember what you need to do in that space of isolation. This is where you will be observing yourself. You got to create that isolation period of time. Every day, or you might as well forget it. You got to be consistently, till I said, till it naturally becomes natural instinct in you, okay? And number 10, build in silence. This is the protective shield for, any resistance of the enemy who's trying to, you see, you'll take down the chances of being underestimated. Not saying that you ain't, because just somehow somebody might find out that you on somewhere, you building somewhere. Some people are gonna know, all right? But you're not telling everybody. So those people that do know, you know what I'm saying? You'll still be building in silence, but you won't speak much to them. But these are the time that you create in those isolation spaces too, to also build in that silence. Not just for observation, but you create that isolation space to build as well. Why? Because you don't need others to see what you're doing. The closest people around you are going to be the first ones to attack what you have built. I promise you. That would be obviously the ones that tear it down. Okay? So, never be the mirror reflection of what the world wants to see of you. Don't be a mirror reflection of the world, because that's what they want. I'm showing you how to not be. Most people don't understand that sovereignty is the power. Having the ability to think on your own and do on your own and be on your own and all that, dog, that's the power. What do you need all this? You know what I'm saying? You can do it for yourself. Whatever. So when you realize that you're being held captive by principalities that govern over your mentality, you might take the time to assess the right to govern your own. Never give your enemy the most valuable weapon to defeat you. You know what that is? It's your mind. And your greatest enemy is the one who's going to attack there first. Who is that? Satan. Satan. He loves to attack the mind. Wow. So far, that's what I got. Honestly, with all the elaboration and the breakdown of it, it's a pretty cool message. But, bro, it's nowhere nearly finished, bro. There's too much up here, bro. This is just way too much. And I did it in a way that I elaborated on words, as you saw. Why? Because when you do it that way, it's a step-by-step process. Everybody out here giving you, I can get up here and scream about all the problems, this, that, and the third. But man, when motherfuckers be like, yeah, well, who's giving the answers? Nigga, I got the answers. You gonna listen to that? I bet you don't. Because you niggas don't want the answers. Remember I told you they want control, dog. And they want to be the powerful person in the room with no answers. So, till next time, I'll get some answers for you.